All right, guys, following the sudden death of Charlie Kirk, you do have a little bit of infighting that is taking place on the right. Last night, you basically had Candace Owens versus a billionaire Wall Street investor named Bill Ackman. Some of y'all may be familiar with him. Essentially, Candace Owens claimed in her live stream yesterday that threats were made to Charlie Kirk during an intense intervention with Bill Ackman in the Hamptons a few weeks ago before Charlie Kirk was murdered live on TV, on camera. Owens claims that Kirk was having a change of heart on Israel before his death and says he was contacted by Bibi Netanyahu, that is Benjamin Netanyahu, that is the current prime minister of Israel. And then here's a quote from her. I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in the moment, a ton of money. And then Bill Ackman has denied these claims, calling them totally false. We're going to get to that in just a second, but let's just go ahead and play just a little bit of what Candace Owens had to say.
In the Hamptons, and he had more than one event, but he had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman. Because Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie was surrounded by his friends, his quote-unquote friends. Bill Ackman was very upset, and threats were made. That is what I am told, and I will tell you that I am very happy for Bill Ackman to dispute this narrative. In fact, he was asked to dispute this narrative. Max Blumenthal went out to him today, and Bill Ackman came back and said, I have receipts I can show you. And he did not provide the receipts. This is not how it went down. I know it went down this way. I'm waiting for one of them to go on record and to...
Okay, so for those who don't know what she's talking about when she brings up this guy, Max Blumenthal, let me bring that up real quick. So Bill Ackman did respond to Candace's live stream. We'll get to that in a second. But a journalist by the name of Max Blumenthal said, Ackman a few hours ago to me, this story is totally false. I think I can easily put this to bed. I have receipts, as they say. Ackman just now, he makes the tweet, a vaguely worded confirmation of my report, but without acknowledging its existence. So essentially, Bill Ackman did not provide receipts to either Candace Owens or Max Blumenthal, basically clearing his name. Instead, he responded with a very, very long tweet, which we're not going to read the entire thing. We'll read some of it. So this is what Bill Ackman had to say. He said, this afternoon, at Real Candace Owens slandered me by accusing me of staging an intervention with Charlie Kirk in which threats were made with respect to his supposed evolving stance on Israel at an event I hosted in the Hamptons. Candace also intimated that I blackmailed Charlie. On the show, Candace said that she would be very happy for me to dispute this narrative. While it pains me to drive more traffic to her program, I am responding here to clear my name. Now, I do have to laugh when he says, while it pains me to drive more traffic to her program. She is like a million times more famous than Bill Ackman. Most people don't even know who Bill Ackman is. Now, don't get me wrong. Bill Ackman is very, very wealthy. He's extremely rich. He is a billionaire because of how well he's done with his venture capital firm and his stock investments. But in terms of fame, he's not very well known outside of the business world. Unless you're like a investor in the business world, you probably don't know who Bill Ackman is. So you're definitely not driving any traffic to Candace Owens' platform. She's like way more famous than you. But his post continues to say, it saddens me that we live in a society where social media influencers seek to monetize the tragic death of Charlie Kirk. For the record, at no time have I ever threatened Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, or anyone associated with him. I have never blackmailed anyone, let alone Charlie Kirk. I have never offered Charlie or Turning Point any money in an attempt to influence Charlie's opinion on anything. So basically, he just denies everything. Then he says, and I mean, like I said, this is a really, really long tweet. Really long tweet. But basically, he says, in short, this was not an intervention to blackmail Charlie Kirk into adopting certain views in Israel. It was nothing of the sort. Now, Candace actually did go ahead and respond to Bill Ackman, and here is what Candace Owens said. She said, let's clarify. One, Bill, check your ego. I do not need you to make my platform bigger. Don't confuse your mysterious wealth with influence. You were contacted with plenty of time to respond with your receipts and did not. 2, I know feigning victimhood is kind of an Israeli brand thing, but I was clear that Charlie felt blackmailed by the offer to fund Turning Point USA, which he refused. No one said Bill Ackman blackmailed Charlie Kirk. Try to resist the urge to rewrite history. People in attendance characterized it as an intervention. Josh Hammer and Seth Dillon, according to attendees, were especially disappointed that Charlie expressed his frustration with Bibi Netanyahu and what would happen if he publicly criticized them. 4, nothing else in your overly worded response disputes that Charlie was pressed by you and others about his viewpoints on Israel and about Tucker Carlson or Bibi's phone call. Try to stay focused and answer the questions. As a follow-up and separate question, do you know anything about the alleged $150 million Bibi offered for an anti-Tucker Carlson campaign? DMs open. I have heard rumblings about that all over the internet, that apparently that's true. So I don't know if it's true or what happened, but to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if it was. I have my own thoughts about Benjamin Netanyahu and what they're trying to do with that, but I'll save that for another video. Let's go ahead and play something else. Let me show you guys something else. So Charlie Kirk's executive producer actually responded in an attempt to clear up the record. Here's what Charlie Kirk's executive producer had to say. He said, I have been asked about Bill Ackman event more than a few times now, so I asked our staff who were traveling with Charlie to find out what's true and what's not. His team was with him 100% of the time when he wasn't in his hotel room. Here's what they told me. Bill never yelled at Charlie, never pressed him on Bibi, never gave him a list of Charlie's offenses against Israel. There was concern raised about having Tucker at SAS. We don't believe this came from Bill. And Charlie's reply was, honestly, people telling me not to have Tucker makes me want to have Tucker, and I am going to lock him in for Amfest 2. Charlie personally told me he had a very cordial relationship with Bill and the event was productive. Those are the facts. So basically, Andrew here, the executive producer, is essentially saying that there were no threats, at least as far as he knows. There were no threats in regards to Bill Ackman. However, I do have my own questions. One of the questions that I do have, here's a tweet right here. I have followed Ackman's career for 2 decades now. Him not threatening to file defamation lawsuits here is giving me pause. I don't know what happened, but I'm starting to wonder if there's more than what we know or that we know. Yeah, I think he meant to say if there is more that we don't know. I don't know. But I think we're going to have to wait and see what happens. I do think that there is more to this story that we don't know. I have no idea if it's true or not. I do know that the executive producer coming out and speaking and saying that basically nothing bad really happened and this is false. That does give a little bit of leeway to Bill Ackman, who says that he did nothing wrong or he didn't do any of these things that he's being accused of. But ultimately, I really don't know. But I do know that Candace Owens' viewership has gone up tremendously ever since Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And it kind of makes sense because Candace Owens was really good friends with Charlie Kirk, and he was a big part of why she even blew up in the first place. I actually kind of remember those days. Those are back during the days when I was in college. So, yeah, I do remember those days. But, yeah, anyway, that's today's video. That's the whole situation. Just want to keep you guys updated on all the drama happening. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.